Morgan, what are we talking about?
Today, we're going to talk about what not to do on your Upwork proposals. All right, guys. Hey, Morgan Overholt here. In case you don't know who I am, I am a freelancer who's earned $600,000 on Upwork.
Where did that come from?
I got it on Etsy.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. So, but today we're going to do this kind of game show style, guys. And by the way, Alaina is also an Upworker. And we're going to kind of talk to you a little bit today about things not to do. And what Alaina and I like to do every once in a while is like we play these little game show things where we say, all right, you're going to write down your top 3 answers and we'll reveal them on a whiteboard. I've already written down my first answer and what not to do. So technically speaking, we're going to be counting down our top 3 things not to do. But at the end, you're actually going to have probably more like 6 because me and Alaina are going to have one every round, if that makes sense. So Alaina, do you want to write down your number 3 thing? We're going to count down number 3 top thing that you recommend not doing on your Upwork proposals.
Oh,
I'll go first. Typos, it's something super easy, but I see people do it all the time. Actually, I use Grammarly, a tool called Grammarly, and I do have a link for that as well that I'll put in the description below. The base service is absolutely free, so it costs you absolutely nothing to use it. There's an advanced service where you get some extra features and stuff, but the free service will do you, and it will correct typos, it will correct grammar, and I cannot tell you how important it is just to make sure that your proposals sound professional, because people on Upwork, clients on Upwork are looking to hire professionals who they know are paying attention to detail. And if your proposal is just chock full of like typos and really bad grammar, they're probably not going to think that you're that detail oriented person. So that's why that's my number 3. And it's like the easiest thing to not do as well. So avoid typos at all costs.
mine was focus on yourself. I think that's a common thing that people want to do is, go into like, oh, I have this many years of experience and I have this and this and this, and I've, blah, 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 blah. And every single word starts with I. And really, people are inherently kind of self-centered to no fault of their own. I think that's somewhat human nature, but make sure you focus on what you're going to do for them and why they should hire you and how you're going to make their life easier. Although I do have almost a follow-up question with you about that, because you've found a lot more clients successfully on Upwork than I have. And I've lately found I've been applying for a couple more jobs more recently. And sometimes like the client does not like specify, they don't give you much to work with. That's when I kind of struggle to talk about them.
No joke. I'm not even kidding with you guys. When my biggest ever client on Upwork, I made over 100, and I think it was something like $50,000 or close to it, $150,000, something in that ballpark. And I think the original proposals was like 2, or the original job post was like 2 lines. It was like, need a graphic designer that could do some web banners and stuff. And so basically I just went in and I said, oh, hey, yeah, like talk about your web banners and your website. Like, are you guys selling stuff? Are you a retail? Or, what do you do? Like I asked some questions about like what they're doing in the proposal and say, hey, look, I do web stuff all the time. Here are some examples of other web stuff that I've done. Let me know if you're looking for something specific. So yeah, and I don't really shy away from, short and sweet job posts. Ready for number 2? Wait and reveal. So I put dear sir, and by this I also mean, I really mean just addressing people in the proper way, right? I can't tell you how often when I post jobs on Upwork as a client, because I also have taken a walk on the client side of Upwork, how often people either use my wrong name, and I actually try to put my name like in the job post personally, and they can also get my name from like the reviews below the job post where people have said my name, but they'll either say, oh, hey, Megan, or dear sir, and that is not a noun I go by, or a pronoun or whatever. I go by, she, her. If you can call me ma'am, if you really want to, but it's probably a little too formal. So just make sure that you're addressing people properly, and I actually see people use sir a lot. Like, I think that this happens more often with freelancers outside of the US when they're speaking to clients inside the US. And I'm sure that in other cultures, maybe that is a little bit more considered to be proper, maybe considered to be the default. But to be honest with you, in the English version of that, it's sort of kind of lost a little bit, especially when you're talking to a woman, Because to us, you've not done your homework here, you've not done your research. It's just kind of a little bit awkward. And if you don't know, just say, hey, how's it going? Or hey there, hi there, or whatever, and be a little bit more casual.
Oh, mine was lack of relevant examples. And I say relevant because, well, really lack of examples in general, but relevant examples because I think clients, anytime you're hiring a stranger on the internet, it can be kind of scary. Your client should know that you've worked in something very similar. You've done this a ton of times before. You can do it for them. Easy peasy. Here's a relevant example of what, you want to do. Here's what a relevant example of what I've done that can put your client at ease.
Yeah, and you'd be surprised how often people don't have like robust portfolios on Upwork. It's kind of crazy. So, like to me, especially when I'm hiring somebody in the arts field, or honestly, I think everybody should have a big portfolio. But especially when you're in something visual, like web design or graphic design, and you've only got like 3 or 4 different portfolio examples, and how do I know what you're capable of? Number one, quick disclaimer: I feel like Alaina took my real number one and her number 3 and 2, so I've had to kind of pull this out of nowhere. All right, so if I really had to reorder them, this might be like my real two. But anyway, forget to human. This is actually something I say, don't forget to human, because I really feel like, and this is something I've actually been talking to one of my Patreon subscribers about recently. And it's kind of funny because in the first few proposals that he sent me as examples, and then even in the conversations that followed, like when he did get a reply with his clients, he was very almost sort of robotic in a weird way, and talking about just the semantics of what they were doing, and not really like treating it like a first date, not really like asking them questions. Immediately when we started talking to his client, he was like, and here's what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to recommend you use this software, and then when you hire me, we're going to spend 1 hour doing this. We're going to be doing this and this, before he's ever even had a chance to like let his client ask the first question, or asked his client the first question about like, hey, tell me more about your business, tell me about who you are, why are you in this, what are your goals like? And I said, what you're doing is almost like, I said, I want you to think of that other person's business that you're wanting to help project manage, like them asking you to raise their child. And instead of you asking any questions about little Bobby Sue, you're like, let me tell you what Bobby Sue needs. Well, honey, you don't even know Bobby Sue has like a peanut allergy right now, like right, or what time he likes his naps. I mean, you need to ask a few questions, and don't forget to like human. Don't forget to ask questions and have conversations before you just jump straight to diagnosing.
Mine was not reading the full job description. I remember one posting that I had. They said basically it was like it's kind of a fairly long job posting, and at the very end of it, they were like, and in this follow-up question, because sometimes like Upwork will have like follow-up question, fill in the box kind of thing. It'll say, instead of answering whatever the question was, tell me your favorite color, or tell me your favorite food, or whatever. And it kind of just like it was fairly subtle, and I can only imagine the people who just completely glossed over that for a client like right off the bat. It's a really quick way to like tell if is your perspective person like actually paying attention to the details, because attention to detail can go a long way.
Did something similar to that once, actually, Elena. When I posted a job as a client, I put in my job description, be sure to look at the attachment to have a better understanding for the project before you apply. And my attachment was literally just a JPEG that says, please use the word, like code word lettuce. I can't remember the actual code word, but like, please use code word lettuce at the bottom of your proposal so that I know you followed instructions. That's all it said, which is hilarious. And I would say less than 50% of people who applied actually used the code word.
All right, I think that wraps us up, right? Where can people follow you for more tips, Morgan?
Okay, so for more tips, you can follow me at Morgan O Media on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, all those good places. Also, make sure to check out my blog, morganoverholt.com, where I talk about lots of fun Upwork advice, and how I made $600,000 on the platform.
Are you going to do another one when you hit 700,000?
Yes. Until next time. The pin went this way and it almost hit me in the. Sorry.
Oh my goodness. Ready?
Oh wait, it's supposed to be not what to do. Sorry, mine is what to do. Sorry, let me teach you what not to do. Don't listen.
Oh, listen.
It doesn't make any sense.